How's everyone doing? Did you have a fun weekend? A lot of explorations around Web3, building your own smart contract. How did
Yes, good weekend. Yes.
how did it go for you?
I went to the gym and normal shopping and all. That's it.
Very productive weekend.
Yeah, yes.
And how about Solidity? Did you try a little things?
Yes, we done the group homework and we created a GitHub and we submitted already the homework.
Nice. No, that's great to hear, Jensen.
Yeah.
Your group is here. Everyone from your group is here.
Uh, group seven, group seven, possibly here. I think so.
Okay,
I
okay.
cannot see all the names.
Yeah, they keep coming. Speaking of
Keep
which,
coming.
let me
Yeah.
approve some more people. Yeah, five have joined it now. Okay. Anyone else had fun in the weekend? Let me know if you have questions. If you had issues, let me know too. I didn't see anything on the GitHub from Friday to today. All the questions that I had, I answered. So I'm assuming that it went well. Oh well. Yeah, gas prices were crazy in the last days. Test nets is always they are always like that. They have a lot of instability depending on how people are testing new rollups, testing new things. So expect a bit of fluctuation, okay? So, yeah, this is why I mentioned that you might want to use all the test nets too for testing purposes. Like you can use like Polygon testnet, Base, Sepolia, or any other testnet for connecting. I didn't show that yet. Okay, if you had problems with your homework because of Sepolia, don't worry. Eventually, the network comes back to normal. Okay, okay, seeing a lot of people here. Arda, you raised your hand. I want to ask a
Um,
question.
yeah. Could you write the interface for transfer ownership for Hello World contract interface? Because I've written mine. It seems like it works, but then when I look at the remix log, I see I'm sending the call to the function from the correct owner, but it doesn't go through for some reason. Um,
Okay, you might have attached it to a wrong smart contract. I even mentioned that in the README. Today I'm using this VScode, okay, for reading the material. In the last lessons, I was using GitHub, but I guess we can follow from here. I'm going to explain all of that. So, Arda, what may be happening is that you are attaching a mismatched um, a smart contract there. So even though you have the correct function, you might be attaching to a wrong address. So what you need is pick the interface and attach to the correct address, to the correct deployment of Hello World, which has this transfer ownership function here. Okay. Because if you make an interface with this function and then attach to an older smart contract deployed, it's not going to work, you know. It needs to be deployed again. Okay. So this was the weekend project. I hope that you had fun in starting this interaction with a smart contract between other people for you to see that blockchains are not only for transacting monetary value and assets. It can be also used for information, for setting text on things or this kind of application. And today I'm going to start introducing how to use development toolings. So I'm going to start on lesson 5. okay, in the README of lesson 5, using VScode IDE, a local installed IDE, guiding you how to do this setup of all of these tools and what they are used for, and giving priority for code quality here, okay? For creating good code that we can understand later, that people can maintain, okay, that people can audit. We are not going to use AI-generated code for smart contracts. Never, okay? It's all maybe a suggestion or two, but it's all going to be good code quality here, okay? So, sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. I have a runny nose here. Sorry about that. So I'm going to guide you through this environment setup, what you should have there on your computer, what you should organize. Today, we're not going to say anything new about blockchain, just about the tooling itself, okay? Because we are not going to use Remix anymore. Some of the things you can even run on Remix there, you can run tests there, you can run scripts for deployments there, yes. But I'm going to show a tooling called Hot Hat. I'm going to show all of the reasons why too. That is going to guide you to move forward for building the apps later, decentralized applications. So I want you to get used to JavaScript and TypeScript stuff with blockchain, because later you're going to build a front end, a back end. I want you to get used to running scripts for setting up environments, private keys, and all of that for you to do those deployments more safely in the future. I want you to get used to writing tests. Okay, I was answering a question from my students last week. I don't recall which student. And we were chatting about these things of running tests and make sure that you get it correctly. Remember when we changed the modifier, a line above and a line down, and caused a lot of problems. So this is all about what we're going to see today. Okay. So for the programming setup, I'm going to use an IDE, a local IDE. I suggest VScode. Okay, I have the documentation here. I have the links in the README. I'm using a different version of VScode, a forked version of VScode called Cursor. This one, okay. So you might see a little different interface. Okay, this AI coder. Now, I don't suggest you to migrate for it just because I'm using it. You can keep using VS Code as you want, okay? It can be all the IDEs, but consider that I'm going to use some extensions from VS Code in this bootcamp, and they work for Cursor, okay? Cursor is a fork for VS Code. So if you use another IDE, Eclipse, JetBrains, whatever, you might not have the same extensions as I'm going to show. Okay, we would need to search for all the extensions, or they might not work at all. Okay, so pay attention on that. I'm going to use some CLI tools like Yarn, Bun, Node for running things on my computer. I'm going to be using the CLI tool for cloning stuff, okay? So all of these things I have put there on the homework of lesson 4. You should have that on your computer, okay? And we're going to start with one reference repository called Open Zeppelin Contracts, okay? We are not going to use Open Zeppelin contracts today. We're going to use more of that next week. But we're going to clone and download and use it and install it and use it as a reference. Let me explain why. Open Zeppelin contracts is vetted, is used by like 25.5 thousand people in Web3, almost entirely all the Web3 active developer user base trust Open Zeppelin contracts as a repository for picking, for importing safe and reusable modular definitions for smart contracts and standards like ERC20, 721, role-based permissions, and all of that. So whenever you take a smart contract from OpenZeppelin and use in your project, you are inheriting a lot of security, a lot of battle-tested security, vetted by the community, that those smart contracts, they are well built, they are safe, they are strong, they are secure, they are performatic. Okay, so this is the idea of the Open Zeppelin contracts. Again, we're not going to use them in fact today to do any tokens or anything like that, but I'm going to use them as a reference. Okay, because if somehow these 500 contributors, they can contribute between themselves here in this project using these tools, and the result is quite secure, we can be quite sure that if we follow the same tools and the same practices, we can have a good result too. Okay, you agree? So Open Zeppelin contract is going to be like a model for us, and we're going to see what they are using, how they are using it, and then we're going to apply for this bootcamp, okay? Sounds good. As a prerequisite, we need to have the node version, node installed, all of the setup correctly installed here, okay? Raise your hand if you don't have node. Okay, I'm going to show how to check if you don't know. You can open your terminal. We open a terminal that I have here in my computer. It can be any shell or console or anything that you have in your computer. And then you type node-v to check your node version. Okay. Ideally, it's going to be a version 20 dot something, maybe 22 can work too. But anything before 16, 18, or anything after 24, maybe even 22 might give you problems, okay? I have this lesson tested on Windows and Linux. Right now I'm using Linux. I don't have the exact test commands or test for Mac. I don't have a Mac testing that, but it should work exactly like Linux, okay? And from all of the other times that we did this bootcamp, it worked very well on Mac. You just need to take care. I guess that would be the correct expression. You need to take care with the correct permissions. Like if you have Homebrew installed, if you have everything installed, because Mac can give you some headache for those permissions, okay? But after you set up, it works well. So check if you have Node. If you don't have, I suggest using Node Version Manager, because this very simple program, NVM, can manage and list all of the versions that you have. It can download versions, it can upgrade your versions, okay? So if you don't have Node, or if you, for example, if you need to run Node with sudo, something like that, install Node with NVM. It's going to solve, it's going to work very well for you, okay? Johnson, for Windows, you can use Windows PowerShell. It works normally. You can install Node for Windows, okay? There is NVM for Windows, okay? NVM Windows that you can use with this package. And then you do like that. It works normally. It works very well, okay? I've tested. You don't need to run like a subsystem Linux or whatever. Just install NVM and you're good to go for installing everything else that you need on Windows, okay? Ideally, you would have done that before the lesson as the
Is
homework.
that in NVM or NPM?
NVM, this one, NVM
And
Windows, the Node Version
NVM.
Manager.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, just I have a link in the README. Okay, so this can install Node, any versions of Node on your computer. Pick out Node version 20 LTS. You should be good to go. Okay. And we're going to clone this repository for us to see how it is organized, how they use the tools. Okay, so I'm going to run this command in my console. Let's start by cloning Open Zeppelin contract repository. Let's start by cloning this. Okay, and we're going to have a downloaded version of that repository in your machine. Okay. Yes, Laia.
Hi, yeah. So basically, I just wanted to ask if you get the NVM, which is the node version manager, the NPM automatically comes, I think, right? That's how I got it when I was installing mine.
Yeah, if you use NVM to install Node, for example, like this, it should install NPM and Node for you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
After you run the installation command, it should set up everything. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So after you check if you have Node, come to this line in the README and run this command in somewhere safe in your computer. I have collections of past issues that were originated just because of the folder structures, like putting your folder in the wrong place. So before anything else, make sure that you are in a organized place on your computer. Like I'm here, it's open. Look, I'm in this folder here in home, in my user, in a folder called projects, in a folder for Encode, okay? Please make sure that you have a place like this on your computer. Can be your documents, can be your desktop, can be your downloads folder, anything that you would like, but make sure that it is organized and that it's not inside another project. If you create a project inside another project, a lot of problems are going to happen. Okay, if you have initialized the project somewhere else in your computer, or for example, when you open a command prompt on Windows, you are automatically inside the folder system32, which is not a good folder to create things, okay? So make sure that you navigate for a good folder on your computer using the command cd change directory, and then you go for the folder that you want to work on, or you open that on Explorer or Finder and open a terminal there so you have it in an organized place, okay? So you open your terminal somewhere safe on your computer, and then you can run this command, git clone. That's going to clone this project called Open Zeppelin Contracts. Going to download that for your computer using git, okay? And then you're going to have the folder there. My folder was empty. Now, if I look at this, I have this Open Zeppelin Contracts folder, okay? Good. For that, we need the git CLI. It was in the homework too. If you don't have it, you can install it later. And to download the repository without git CLI, you would need to come to this button, press this green button, and then download the zip from here. You would extract it somewhere on your computer, and then you open the terminal there. It would work. Okay. When you download Open Zeppelin contracts, when you download this folder, okay, this is going to come pre-packet with everything that you need for setting up your project with Node tools. Okay, it's not an executable, it's not a binary. You still need to have Node, you still need to do some setup. Okay, so I'm going to run this command to change directory, to enter that directory. Okay, consider that in Windows you might have forward slash instead of backslashes here. The best way to do that is just type cd and then tab. Okay. Or if you have a lot of things inside that folder, you type cd and then you start typing open and then you hit tab. Okay. The best way for you to find this and put the correct way for your system without making any typos. Sometimes you lose time typing everything, and then you type a letter wrong and then have a typo, need you go back, and then I'm explaining something else, you lost your attention. So these tricks can be very helpful. And after we are inside the folder, we're going to use the npm package that Laia mentioned a while ago the Node package manager to install that project. Okay, to install all of the dependencies of the project too. Okay, this is going to pick up a file called package.json that we do have inside that repository. Look here, inside the files of that repository. We have this one called package.json here. We downloaded it. It is inside the folder where I have the indications of like what's the name, what's the description version of that package, okay. But also we have a list of dependencies here, dev dependencies and no direct dependency. That's good. So for example, we have this program called change sets, changelog GitHub, this program, we have these programs here, we have these programs, you know. Imagine if you would install all of these individually. It would take a lot of time, especially because there are a lot of different dependencies for each of those dependencies too. So instead of going through all of these one by one, line by line, we use this program called Node Package Manager, NPM, to install everything for us, to download these dependencies in the correct versions from the web and putting them inside the same folder for us to use in our contract. Okay, this is what this package called npm is going to do. And after it finishes, okay, my Node version is a little outdated. I need to take care of that later. Okay. So after the end, you might have this answer, this output, and there are some vulnerabilities there. Okay, don't need to worry, are not vulnerabilities in the smart contract itself. It's a vulnerability on the repository. And since we're not hosting this online or anything like that, it's not going to give us much of a problem. Okay. Sub the git clone failing. So you can download directly from the page if that's a problem for you, and then you extract somewhere. You should have it in your computer somewhere like this, and then you would run the install command. Okay, for you to what the install command is creating this folder called node models for you to have all of the dependencies there for you to run. Okay, all of the necessary intermediary steps. Okay. Any questions up to here? Installing Open Zeppelin contracts. For you to check if it's working correctly, you can just come here and run this command npm run compile. Copy this command here and then run on the terminal like this, npm run compile. If you install everything correctly, it should be working like this, should be downloading your compiler, it should be processing that script. Okay, this is one of the scripts pre-programmed, preset in the package.jsons. We have these scripts here. So one script that we're using is the compile script. We are running this script with the npm. Yes, npm is a package manager for Node, but can also run scripts with these packages. So it's running the compile script there inside the repository with these things that we installed. Okay.
I got an error like showing hard hat is not supported.
It's a warning. Okay, it's a warning.
Okay.
Yeah. Whenever possible, we should update Node. I can try and do that live. But if anything goes wrong, we can roll back. So right now it's downloaded. The compiler is quite slow. but when the download finishes, it should use this compiler to compile my smart contracts. Okay. Okay. All of these links, people, I see some questions here in the chat. All of these links are here in the README. So if you open the README for lesson 5, you're going to find all of these links for Node, for NPM, for Git, for VScode, for the Open Zeppelin contracts. Okay. So all of the instructions are here, one by one, too. We just finished this command here, and then we're going to run this command to a test if everything is working well. Okay, we are downloading the compiler here on my machine. It's taking way longer than expected. And then after this compiler runs, we should have this output. Compile to 131 solid files successfully, something like that. Okay, because we have these scripts there in the package.json, we have this compile script that using this tool called hardhat to run the compilations, to run the tests, okay, as we're going to see in a while. Okay. Questions? Cool. You're in the next. Let's me, if you don't have code, if you don't have VScode there, you can open it directly, but we're going to get there in a while. Is this what you're asking for?
No, I have this error once I put npm run compile. I have an error that I don't have installed solidity doc again.
Okay, maybe you missed this command here, npm install.
Okay, I will try. I've done this command, but there were some non-critical errors.
It should be inside the same folder. You should do npm install. After you do that, you should be able to run the compiled version. Okay. And yes, my compiler is taking a while here. Let me see if I can speed it up by using another packagement called bun. Let's see. Usually this downloads very quickly, but if we have problems here, might be some network issues on my side too. We have time for a few questions in the meantime. If we're missing script compiler, I see a question there, right? So if you are inside the same folder, make sure that you enter the folder, opens up in contracts, and then you do npm install. You are going to have the compiler there 100% sure because they have defined that in the package.json. Okay. Open the package.json, you're going to see that script there, okay? Good. Conrado, you want to ask a question?
Yeah, my version of the node is 22, and I just discovered that on the installing the git clone. After the git clone, I have to remove the git clone and do it again, or just install the new version of the node and then npm install.
If you have Node version 22 and it's not working, you can swap back for Node version 20, and then you delete your node models, that folder called node models, delete that, and then you install it again.
Okay, thanks.
Then it should work. Yeah, the compile command is taking a while. It's taking a while to download the compiler here. That's not good. npm run compile. So that compiler should be downloading the compiler now, then that should be quick. Macro, I see that you finished installing there. Nice. Ryan, for you to get version 20, I would suggest, if you like this path, using Node Version Manager. Then you can quickly swap between versions, install another or use another, okay? It's called EVM Node Version Manager. Okay. Okay, I had this question again. Look, people, if you don't have the compile command there, it is because you are in the wrong folder. For example, let's say you are in this folder and then you run npm run compile here in this wrong folder. I have this problem. Okay. So make sure that you are inside the correct folder for running these commands. Okay, this is why I have the instructions there step by step. You would git clone and then you would change directory for inside open Zeppelin contracts, and then you would do npm install, and then you can run compile. Okay. So to solve that, you need to open the project in the correct folder, and then you can run this compile command. Okay. We're going to go over those extensions later. Okay. Anyone else could get the compiler to download? My computer is taking ages here.
I downloaded. Yeah.
Okay.
I downloaded all the compilers.
Yeah, okay, good. Gato, address, good.
Sorry, I may miss your answer, but I think I am in the right folder because I see the hard hat file, but I can't do the hard hat compile instruction.
Okay, are you in the correct folder and you're running npm run compile in the correct folder?
I miss your question. I think I am in the correct folder, which is Open Zeppelin under tire contract. So
yeah.
I am definitively in the right folder.
Okay, you do like this ls, just the letter L and the letter S.
Yeah.
And then you hit enter.
Yeah.
You should see this folder called node models there, together with this package.json and all of those other folders.
I see node models.
Okay, and do you see all of these other folders?
I don't see audit. Yeah, I see it. Audit. I don't see as many as you.
Okay, something might be missing. Do you have the package.json there?
Package.json, yeah.
Okay, so you clone it, open Zeppelin contracts, and you do have the package.json, right?
Yeah.
So you just need to run npm space run and then space compile. Okay, that's going to use the install version that you have inside node models and the script inside package.json to run this.
Okay, it's written nothing to compile.
Okay, that's good because you have compiled already. You can find all of those compiled artifacts inside a folder called artifacts that you should have here just after audit, because you compile already. If you want to compile again, you can just delete that folder called artifacts and then compile again.
Artifact, it's a folder, right?
Yeah, it is a folder that is created after you run the compile command. If you had run that before, you should have this artifact folder. Then if you clean it, you can compile again. But in your situation, you have compile already.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Dante, look, it might be because of the forward slash, I see your error there, CD. So this is why I suggest, instead of copying and pasting all of these lines, let you do something like this. Type CD and then space, then you start typing OP and then you hit tab. That should autofill the folder correctly in your system if you're using Windows, Linux, Mac, whatever. And then you hit enter, you are in the correct folder now, okay? Good. Let me pick one of my previous folders from a previous cohort, because then I would have the compiler there. CD 2024 Q4. I have my Open Zeppelin contracts there. Okay, now if you run, look, I have this folder artifacts there. I can remove. Remove it. Now, if you run npm run compile, you should have something like this. If you want to use bun, you can, or yarn, you can, okay? I see this question there. I use bun a lot. You see those questions here. The compile command is slow even on my past. I don't know what's going on here. Usually this takes only a few seconds. The artifacts directory was just a technical detail here when compiling, because whenever you compile the smart contract, you have this artifact, okay? So if you run the compile command again, it's going to say nothing to compile. I removed artifacts just to have it working, okay? Yes, Johnson?
Do I need to remove artifacts, or it's compiled okay? So do I need to remove artifacts again?
No, it's just I was suggesting to remove artifacts just so that you can see the compilation working, okay?
Okay.
After it works.
It's worked already. It's worked already before. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my compile command is not working here, but I have some testimonials that it's working there on your computers, so it's good. Okay, anyone having problems to run this compile command right now? Frustrating, but it happens. It's life as it is. 25, Q1. Okay, go for Open Zeppelin contracts. Okay. And I wanted to show another script too. That was this test script. How we can run JavaScript script to test things happening on our smart contracts. Okay. I'm going to run this one script that I have there. See if it's going to work. Those. Make sure to pick the correct paths, like backslashes or forward slashes, depending on Windows, on Linux, if you are. And we're going to run this test script as configured here in the package.json to use the hard hat tooling. now that we compile our smart contracts, to run this test file, okay? And this is a JavaScript file written by someone there from the maintainers of OpenZeppelin. And this file is testing all of the necessary behaviors for this smart contract. Okay. This is taking a little while, but let's see how it goes. Because I should update my node version to see it working. Okay. If you run this test script there and it works for you, let me know, paste here in the chat. And I'm going to use that as an example for today. Okay, test passes. I'm going to try and upgrade my node version. I need to show these things for today's lesson. VM, ls, VM, install. What did I do wrong? Yeah. Using the Windows command in Linux. Okay, so I'm going to update my node version, node 20 version, just to make sure that I have it correctly.
We've got an error. Let's say pasted here. It's not recognized in JavaScript command, something like that.
The dot, I guess is the file path. Okay, for all of you using Windows, consider that the file paths might be a little different. Okay, for you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay. The LTS now is 22. Okay, let me see if that works. Let me move the node models. Let's see my node version. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay. People, I'm just updating my node version here to see if that solved the problems. Since we bumped from version 20 to 22, that might create more problems than it solve, but let's not be pessimistic. Let me go. Let's see if I can run the same commands as we have. Okay. npm run compile. Okay, there's a warning here. Okay, need to make sure to solve that. It's still slow, but I see your message there in the chat that the comment is working. Okay, that's good. Yeah. In this situation, I guess it's my network because all of the things work here, just that the comments that are very slow.
Should we replace the scripts part in the package.json?
Scripts part. I'm using the scripts as we have here. I'm using what it is. I'm using the package.json as we download. Okay, and we're using this compile script and we're using this test script. Okay.
In the GitHub repo there's a code above test example, the npm run test. But I mean, this one runs and 126 passing.
You mean this one? Yeah, this is just a explanation that there inside the package.json we have these scripts. We have this compiler script that we're using, and we have this test script that we're using. Okay, it's not for to replace, it's just to show that we have there, okay? And the compilation is taking a while. I wanted to show that for you, but if it's not working, it's not working. Not much that I can do. Let me see those versions that I have. Here. Install version 20. I'm going to use the updated version 20. That might work. No, npm, no. Sorry about that. NVM install version 20. Okay. We uninstall the other one. We can do that later. Uninstall. Now we're using version 20. Okay. Node version. Okay. Version 20 should work. Bump at the minor. Let's hope that it works. Not very bullish on this, but load models and install again. npm install. Let me use bun. Should work. Do you have enough space in my computer? I guess I do. Version 20.11. Okay. Run compile. Let's see if that works. It's funny because even the older versions that I have in my computer are not working yet. It's taking a while. Okay, let's return for the lesson. So who could run the scripts? This test.js, it shows a lot of things happening on your computer. It should have a balance of this, should have a name of this, and blah, blah, blah. And at the end, it should have like something like this, 20 or 200 contracts passing, something like that, right? Well, let's me, you have an open mic. Don't know if you want to ask something.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't disable it.
No worries, no worries. Being just in case you say something or you curse something. Didn't have open mic. Okay. For me, it's stuck here. I don't know what is happening. This was working for all of the times, but okay, it's stuck there. Bummer. So for all of you that could run this test script here and it worked, I'm going to show the utility, why we're using those tools. They are difficult to set up. They don't work sometimes, like they are just hanging here. So I want to use those tools, how to do it properly, how to what we can get out of those tools, right? So we're going to do one breaking change using VScode or any IDE that you want. Open another terminal here. And I'm going to change this file, contract token ERC20, ERC20.sol. Okay. I'm going to use Cursor for that, the IDE that I have been using so far in this lesson. So I'm going to open this file, but consider that you could do in any IDE that you like, okay, or even Vim or whatever. We are going to look for the line 78. Okay, this line here, where we have the definition of a function called decimals. We know this syntax, right? We know that it's public, it's view, it's marked as virtual, so it can be overridden in the future. It returns a number. Okay, and right now it's returning 18. So if you want to read the description for that function, you have it here. The decimal should be something like that. Usually is 18, okay. Remember, this is a not spec format comment. We covered that last week. So let's change it from 18 to 42. Okay, let's save that. Now when you test it again, when you run this command again, npm run test, after you change this smart contract, and after you save the file, remember to save, then when you want to run the command, again, the same test that we're passing a while ago, now they should be failing. Okay, I have little hope that this is going to work, but ideally, this would output this message on your terminal, and then you would have a result like this. Almost all tests passing and 2 tests failing because the ERC20 was coded to have 18 decimals, but now we have 42. Okay, 2 failing tests. Yeah, that's good. Exactly what I wanted to demonstrate here. I don't know if this is going to work on my computer, but we have some testimonials here, some good students. Okay, let's see. Okay, so 2 errors. Good, got it. Look at the chat. So this kind of error should pop up in your terminal now. You should have a visualization of those tests failing. ERC20 and ERC20 mock approval should be giving errors saying that you have a smart contract with a different output as expected in the test files. Okay. Why is that? Why we have this problem? Oh yeah, this image. Thanks, Javier. So this is what you should see out there. Okay, something like this. Why is that possible? How is that possible that we are seeing the errors in Solidity inside the JavaScript test or something? So let me open this test file in Cursor. So test ERC20. Token ERC20, and then the ERC20 dot test. Okay, I'm going to open that on Cursor just so you know how we are creating this relationship. So we have a Solidity smart contract. So we change it 1 line of code, and then a lot of then we run a JavaScript file, then a lot of errors pop it up in the terminal. So how is that possible? There is a package from Hard called Ethers. We're going to see those two in separate, that they can create this link between the JavaScript environment that we're running in our machine and the smart contract that is designed to run in a virtual machine in the EVM. They created this link programmatically so that I can describe some functions, describe some statements and all. So for example, you should have 18 decimals. So I'm coding that with JavaScript, that I expect these token decimals to equal to 18. So here I have a link that is connecting those two, okay? And we're going to use that for the next 3 weeks or so, understanding smart contracts, understanding tests, understanding the tooling, creating the app, all of that based in this link between JavaScript environments and smart contracts, okay? I'm sorry for my state of my machine here where the things are not working. Oh, finally, it worked, but then had a segmentation fault. Okay. Let me see if that's a problem, but it could compile. Okay, that's good. Segmentation fault. That's weird, but it could compile. PM. Okay, nothing to compile. Nice, 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 nice. Let me remove these artifacts. Now compile. Okay, it's taking a while, but whatever. But we saw that it compiled a while ago. Good. But coming back here to the lesson. So this is the tool that we have. Okay, we're not going to use more of OpenZeppelin today, just show you the tools that we can create this link. And if this link is not clear for you yet, don't worry, we have 2-3 more lessons on that, just working on top of understanding these tools tomorrow on Wednesday and then Thursday, doing some scripts with it, because we want to use these tools for having a better quality of code with composability, upgradability. We are going to use linting tools that are going to help us with maintainability and readability too. We're going to use the tests for that. We're going to manage workflow and progress of coding things with these tests with something called TDD, or some parts of test development, test-driven development, so that we can reach a peace of mind here, so that we don't need to worry with people hacking our smart contracts, with people breaching our code, because we have a solid, well-organized development flow using these tools, okay? There are other tools that can do the same thing for you, like Foundry, that you can use like the Forge and Angel for doing things here. Using Hard is a way for us to get closer to the JavaScript part, okay, TypeScript mostly, what we're going to do in the app development part of this bootcamp in the 4th week. So everything that you do well tested and well scripted and all before can be ported, can be reused in future lessons, okay? So that's the objective here, having quality of code, having peace of mind while coding. The same things that people from OpenZeppelin are using, we can use here in this bootcamp, okay? Good. Are you convinced? You have questions about this? Is my computer working? Not to compile. It takes ages to compile. That's crazy. Okay. Do you have questions? Now we're not going to use the hard hat. Now we are not going to use the OpenZeppelin project anymore. Okay, we understood what it's doing, right? We can run scripts, we can run tests, we can use Node for running smart contracts, yes. Solidity is designed to target the EVM, but we are testing it with JavaScript. Okay, we understood that, right? If you know, it's the time for you to raise your hand, ask some questions. Now we are going to get started with a new project. We're going to use hard for creating a new project from scratch. Okay, and this should be reused. This should be the initial step for you to do all of the future lessons using hard. Okay. We are going to get started with this tool, hard, the same tool that OpenZeppelin is using. We are going to understand this environment that it creates for running Ethereum and any EVM compatible chain, the different components that it has for editing, compiling, debugging, smart contracts, and all of that, okay? Today, we're going to just create one project on it, starting how the initial project works, how the boilerplate works. But in next lessons, we're going to use all of it, like the test, the scripting, the configurations. I'm going to show two VScode extensions today that are going to be used a lot in next lessons. So try and install them, make sure that you have them working on your machine, okay? We're going to use hard with TypeScript. Okay, so there is a configuration here for using TypeScript, how to enable it and all. A lot of people have problems when using the JavaScript part of it, not because JavaScript is inherently bad or anything like that. It's just that it can get confusing, okay? Whenever you have type checks and static type checks, this kind of things, it can help you to avoid problems. Whenever you're using JavaScript, it is too permissive. It allows you to do things that, like using a string as a number, something like that, that can give you problems. So I suggest using the configurations with TypeScript for this bootcamp, especially for newcomers, okay? So we're going to do this step by step. And please pay a lot of attention here. If you miss one single command, it's guaranteed that it's going to fail, okay? All commands here are crucial. So first and foremost, exit your working folder or pick any other folder that you have in your computer. If you do the next steps in this folder of OpenZeppelin, it's guaranteed not to work. Okay, so exit this folder like this. Let's change directory, pick any other directory in your computer, and then you create a new folder, a new file. Let me close this other terminal here. Don't need two terminals. Okay. And then I'm going to create a new folder. I can create it with this command, make directory mkdir. Or you can create with whatever tools you want. You can use a Finder, the Explorer, whatever. Just create a normal folder called project or anything that you would like. Okay, and then you enter this project folder. If you look inside of it, there is nothing there. This is by design, okay? Now in the part 2 of today's lesson, we are creating a new project from scratch. We are not going to work on top of OpenZeppelin contracts anymore. Just creating it from scratch, okay? So once you are inside the project, make sure that it's not inside of any other project or anything. You don't have any other files named package.json in this folder or any above folders, okay? We're going to initialize a repository, okay? Using this command npm init. npm, the node package manager, init for initializing a repository, okay? Then you're going to pick a lot of default options. You just hit enter, 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 or you do npm init with the yes option, okay? Both would work. This is going to initialize this repository with all of these options: name, version, description, entry point, text, comment, okay? None of those are important for the things that we're going to do today. It's just that we are creating it as it is with the default options so that we have this project initialized. What this command is doing is basically creating this package.json for us. So you run it there, npm init, then hit your enter key a lot of times, and you're good to go. Then we're going to install Hard Hat locally. Then we're going to install Hard Hat locally. Okay, this is the intended usage for Hard Hat. Okay, when you're getting started, you first initialize your project, and then you install it. You can install with npm, with the yarn, with pnpm, whatever you want, with these commands, or with this command, or with this command. Okay, whatever you prefer. So I'm going to use npm to install this dependency as a dev dependency, okay? A dependency for developers using that project. Okay, npm install save dev hard hat. That's going to install that dependency for us. This might take a little while on my computer, but this is basically creating that entry in the package.json that you just created, creating an entry saying that I have the hard hat there as a dev dependency. Okay, it is required for running this repository as a developer, something like that, and it's also installing it inside the node modules. And last now, I should see the package.json and the node models file here, okay, detailing what I need to use. Okay. This is the setup. Once I have it there set up, I can even start using Hard Hat if I want, but there is a command here called init that I can use with npx node package execution. Here I'm going to execute Hard Hat directly with this command init. Okay, copy this first command and then pick this option, create a TypeScript project with VM. Okay, let me explain that. Whenever you run the init command, you have the options of creating a JavaScript project, which we're not going to do, create a TypeScript project. That the default TypeScript project uses that package ethers that I demonstrated a while ago. Ethers is used by those scripts with OpenZapple, you know. The only problem with it is that it's not 100% compatible. Actually, it is, but the way that people are doing React code with smart contracts right now, they're using this other package called VM, okay? Because they don't want to use ethers for that. So with VM, we're going to do the same things that we would do with ethers, the same commands and the same operations, but we're going to do in a way that is closer to what we're going to see in the front-end coding part, okay? I'm going to explain that within this week. So you're going to pick this option, create a TypeScript project with VM, okay? And then you pick all the default options. I'm doing this step right now. npx hard hat init, you're going to pick this option, create a TypeScript project with VM, and then you pick all of the default options, okay? Depending on your system and your package manager, Hard Hat will automatically install all of the dependencies in the command, okay? Sometimes this may work in some edge scenarios. This might have some problems, but then you would have an output with the list of suggested dependencies that you can just go there and install. It would work, okay? Johnson, make sure that you are inside the repository again. Yeah, if
Okay.
you
Yeah.
install Hard Hat here. Okay.
I tried to install, first I run npm initialization, then npm install save dev hard hat. It didn't work. Both didn't work.
Okay, did you do these 3 steps before?
Yeah.
Can you do something like an ls, just to make sure that you don't have anything on your folder?
Okay, let me type ls. Yes. Nothing in there. Nothing.
Nothing there?
No.
Okay, so you can
Nothing
create
there.
a new folder there, enter that folder,
Yeah.
and then you do npm space and then init.
Okay.
After doing the init, you should do an ls. You should see just the one file there,
It is coming.
package.json.
This coming like this because I am doing Windows. I don't know what happened.
Are you in the PowerShell or in the CMD?
PowerShell.
Yeah, might be some. Okay. That's I think whenever you install Node in Windows, you should configure your path, your environment in the path. Okay.
Okay.
In your situation, Johnson, did you install with NVM or did you install Node directly?
I installed a node directly.
Yeah,
I
so that's
also
the thing. Yes. Yes. I guess your microphone is not working, Johnson. So whenever you install Node in Windows, you need to create a path entry, something like that. You would need to add the
NVM
Node to your
just
path environment.
after PM I
Okay?
installed it before. A node. Yeah.
Yeah, your microphone is. I don't know if it's my connection, but I was hearing your microphone failing a lot. But using the Node version manager for Windows takes care of all of that for you. If you install Node directly on Windows, you need to set up the path correctly for these
Okay.
scripts to work.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to open this repository VScode now in this situation actually with cursor. I'm going to open this whole directory with cursor, this whole project. And I'm going to show my setup for you. There are two extensions that I do recommend here. One is the Mocha Test Explorer that we're going to use it a lot to run tests. And the Hot from the Solidity from Hot. Okay. So this VScode extension here, this Hot for VScode, it's called Solidity. It's different from the Juan Blanco, therefore I'm going to show those two later. These two extensions are going to help a lot for us to code using tests, using scripts, and all for us to interact with the smart contracts. Okay. So whenever you open your brand new created project, it should have something like that: a folder called contracts, a folder called ignitions, a folder called test, a package.json, node models if you have installed, okay, tsconfig. That all of this comes with the installation of Hot. Okay. Whenever you open a smart contract here, like this log.sol, if you don't have any of these extensions, this file is not going to be colorful or beautiful or formatted or anything like that, because you need an extension called Solidity. If you search for Solidity, you're going to find two extensions here. One from Juan Blanco and another one from Nomic Foundation for Hot. I would suggest this second one, Hot, because it's going to have a lot of comments that are useful for us. Okay, so this extension is one of the ones that I recommend, and the other one is called Mocha Test Explorer. Okay, that I also have the link there on the README. This extension that is going to allow us to click and run test files, test scripts inside our repository in a very visual way for us to debug things and all, which explain more why tomorrow. But this should be very visual, very helpful for you to understand the things that I'm explaining in this bootcamp. Okay, those two extensions. Okay. For us to use those tests, for us to use the Mocha Test Explorer correctly, we need to create one file, one configuration file called mocha.rc.json in the root of our project. Okay? This is not something that comes pre-configured when you initialize a Hot Hat. You need to do it yourself. It's not something that the developers would assume that you are doing. So you need to do this configuration yourself. So you're going to create this file named .mockrc.json in the root of your project. So in the same folder as the package.json, you create this new file with exactly this name. It needs to have a dot before. Okay. Create this file with exactly this name in the root of your your folder here on the same level as the package.json, and then you put this content on it. I require, timeout, and the path for you to find your test files. Okay. This should be good enough for us to set up your testing environment. Okay. Any questions here? This is not necessary for the project to run entirely. It's more for us to configure one test environment. And we're going to create another file called .env. That is where we're going to store personal credentials and environment variables if you want to use all the providers and now. So I'm going to create a .env file. It needs to have the dot before too. In the root of our project 2 in the same folder as the package.json. And I'm going to put all of my environments here. I can put a mnemonic or a private key. I can put all of my RPC providers, as many as you would want, okay? So if you have created these, yeah, I suggested a few others be here, good. So whatever. If you have your keys from your MetaMask, your private key or your mnemonic, if you have your API keys from those service providers that I mentioned in the homework of last lesson on Thursday, you should put them here. We're not going to use it tomorrow, but for Thursday's lesson, you need to have it there, okay? At least one of these, like you should have at least something like that. The private key and API key like Infura or Alchemy, okay? At least something like this, a private key and Alchemy or Infura or Etherscan API key, you should have there, okay? For Thursday's lesson. So you create this mocha RC, this .env, and you're good to go. Yes, Arda?
Possibly we should put this .env into git ignore, right?
Yes, it is there already. So if you pick all the default versions, it should be there on the git ignore, this .env, okay? Do not use any private keys or any mnemonics with money on it on mainnet, okay? Even if you're using on testnet, if you leak your private key, people can steal your crypto. Okay, so everyone out there, make sure that you're not using your production keys here. You create a new wallet, a new account, okay? If you have any questions, if your wallet has some balance or not, you can send me your private key, okay? And I can check for you. If you don't have more than a few $billion, I promise not to touch your money, okay? Just kidding, people. Please do never share your private key. Do never share your environment variables with anyone, not even with your teacher, okay? Okay. So there's the explanation for this. If you want to test if your configuration is working, you can run this command npx hard compile, which is giving me problems, but I hope that this would work fast here. Okay, compile quickly because the problem was OpenZeppelin. So compile, and then I can run this script called test, npx hard test. I don't know if some of these version changes that I did solved the problem, but whatever. npx hard test. Okay, so things are working on my computer now because the problem was the OpenZeppelin scripts. Good. So now that I configured everything, compile and test here, I have it working on my computer. I have hard behaving correctly as expected. Okay. Taufik, I see your question there. So if you create a new account, have a new private key, you should have a new address that you can use. Do not share your private key or your mnemonic with anyone else. Okay. That can be a problem if you have money there, if you have money in mainnet. If you have testnet, the balance is good, but make sure that you don't have mainnet balance there. If you do an ls LA, I'm going to see all of these files there, the mock rc, the .env, okay, and this would create a new project. Is this clear for everyone? We have created a new project here with hard without OpenZeppelin. We created a new project using this tool called hard, okay, and it's configured. We can compile things, we can test things, we can see it on our VScode. Clear? Today's objective is just that. As I said in the beginning of the lesson, we're not going to see anything about Solidity. It's just about tooling here, getting it work on your computer slowly. Okay. Marco, the last steps are here. Okay, in the section of steps for getting started with a new project using hard. Okay, we installed and created those two files so that you can test. So that if you have everything working, you can test with this npx hard compile, npx hard test. Okay, it should work. Let me show what hard can do for you. Close those other files. Let's create a test called accounts in this file. You should find the file there, hard.config.ts. When opening the project, you should find the hard.config.ts there, okay? That is a configuration file organizing hard for you. Something that you would see in Remix last week, for example, the Solidity version configuration now. This is the hard.config.ts. I'm going to create one task called accounts for it. Okay, I'm going to copy this task here, this piece of block, and I'm going to paste it here. Anywhere after or before configuration doesn't matter. And this is a little chunk of TypeScript code that is using the hard runtime environment package VM to get the wallet clients that I have configured here. I'm going to explain all of this syntax tomorrow. You don't need to worry with that. This is just an example of what this environment can do for you. And for solving this error, you need to update the import statement that you have here in this first line. Okay. Or you can, very often we're going to do something like this, or you can just quick fix, pick the first suggestion from VScode, okay? And then it's going to fix the code for you. It's Control dot or Command dot, or you hover your mouse and do quick fix, and it should work, okay? That's the fix for this task definition. And then after you do that, you can run a command here called npx hard accounts that is going to invoke this task called accounts that we have here. We just created a task, okay? We named it accounts, and we're going to invoke it from hard hat. This is going to run that little code of block, printing those addresses here. And if you run it there on your side, we're going to see that you have the same addresses as I do. What is that? What is going on here? A lot of bytes, a lot of numbers. So this is exactly what we're going to introduce tomorrow. We have environment here where we can get some wallets, some preset wallets, pre-configured wallets that they are pre-funded inside these test networks that we're going to use. Remember how Remix had that virtual environment with those accounts that were pre-funded that we could use for quick tests? The same thing for hard hat. Okay, this tool also has this list of addresses that they are pre-funded inside the local network that we can use for tests and scripts inside that network. Okay, so it's not configured, it's not connected to a real public testnet. No, here the default configuration is for it to be pointing a local dev testnet in our own computer, but it's very easy to upload and very easy to destroy after we run the tests and the scripts. Okay, and we're going to use that tomorrow for exploring the syntax for these scripts, the tests, and all, using the libraries, using VM library and all, for running these for running these operations here. We have this contract, this sample contract called lock.sol. Don't worry with what I do. I don't have time to explain it today. And we have these tests here, this log.ts that is a TypeScript file. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to see that with this extension here of the Mocha Test Explorer, let's see if I have it there. I should have it working. Okay, I'm going to have something like this that I can click and I can run those testing scripts there directly from this interface. We hide this, and then I have those tests here. I have this test going well. If I want to debug, I can put a breakpoint here, and I can ask this test here to debug this test, and then stop in a breakpoint to inspect what the variables are doing. So let me see if I can get it here. And then I can hover my mouse over the things, over this lock, over this owner, to see the actual content, the actual value of this variable while I'm running this test. Okay, so log here is like this, has this address. Owner is like this, has this account, and this account has this address. We're going to use all of that tomorrow to start studying Solidity again, studying the tool with Solidity. The idea is that if you configure hard hat correctly, you can use these tools to learn Solidity and to code a safe and maintainable Solidity code with tests that can be used for the app development later. And even for AI coding, vibe coding, as they call it, okay? All of these setups, testing environments that we do with the case, the standards that we import and all, can be very, very useful for building Solidity code, even with AI or without AI, whatever, for you to have a safe and well-organized coding environment. Okay, good. Yes, we're going to need a bit of TypeScript syntax for this to work, okay? But everything that we need, we're going to cover tomorrow. And also I have suggested some reading materials for you in lesson 4, remember? As a homework, I asked you to read this learn TypeScripting minutes here that should get you covered in all the syntax that you're going to need, okay? Good. Arda, you have a question before we finish?
Are we supposed to see Mocha working right now?
Yes.
Or
If
where
not,
do you find
if not, we can cover tomorrow. The steps are here for you to install the extension and for solving this environment configuration, okay?
Okay. And does the prettier extension support Solidity?
There is a small hint that comes with the hard hat, okay?
Okay.
That should work for you.
Thank you.
Good. Laia, any question before we finish?
Yeah, it's Layla.
Layla,
I just
sorry.
wanted to ask, no worries, it's
Sorry
fine.
about that.
So I've been going over the Learn ETH tutorials on Remix IDE, and I was just wondering how relevant would it be, because I think we're moving past Remix now, right? Or would you still recommend that I still go through all of the tutorials?
Yeah, for this week, we are not going to use Remix anymore, okay? So there are more priorities on all the documentations for you to go through.
Okay, okay, thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you. Laia, right? Did I
Layla,
get correct? Layla.
Layla.
Okay, 2 L's.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I
Eventually, I'm
think you're
going to get that
confusing me
correctly.
with Naya. I think you're confusing me with Naya. But it's
Layla, I'm
Layla.
going to remember.
Thank
Okay,
you.
if not, please beg your pardon for these
No worries.
mistakes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we are above lesson time already, people. Thank you all for joining. I hope that you have the environment correct for tomorrow so that we can start very quickly tomorrow on using this for learning Solidity. Okay, any issues, anything, let me know. I can troubleshoot those problems. Lesson 5 there, put your issue on GitHub. I can get that sorted for you very quickly. Okay. Thank you, people. Have a good one. Bye-bye.